G'day beautiful people and welcome back to Battlefield. Today we're going to have a look at the Cei Rigotti, which I am possibly butchering the name of that right now, but it's probably going to be nowhere near as bad as the name of another rifle that I'm going to butcher even more in a moment's time. Okay, we're going to have a look at the stats from Synthic.com. Okay, so we have the Synthic stats right here, okay, and as you can see, it does 38 max and 28 minimum damage. The 38 damage starts to drop off at around about 32 meters and becomes 28 at 40 meters, meaning that anywhere up to 32 meters it is a 3-shot kill anywhere on the body, and outside of that it'll actually be a 4-shot kill, so it's a maximum of 4-shot kill anywhere. It states that it's 299 rounds per minute and 700 meters per second, which is kind of accurate to its real life counterpart. It actually was 730 meters a second if I'm not mistaken, and the 300 rounds per minute is actually a bit vague in the history of the gun. It's reported that it can fire up to actually 900 rounds a minute with some of the prototypes that were adjusted with box-fed clipper strips, but on some demonstrations it actually was only able to fire 300 rounds off before the gun started to overheat and they had to stop the demonstrations. But moving on, I just want to talk about the mag and reload speed because it's very confusing. So if you're ever on Synthic looking at any of these types of rifles that load stripper clips or single bullets, you know what these numbers are trying to tell you. Okay, so above the 10 at the top you have a 1.167 seconds and then a 0.4 second on the right. Okay, what these mean is that it takes 1.167 seconds from the moment you press the button till the reload actually starts, and then from the moment that the reload is finished it takes 0.4 seconds for the gun to be able to be used again. Okay, it takes just below the 1.167 there is a 1.56. That number is how long it takes to load a single strip clip. Okay, so if you were just loading 5 rounds in with a stripper clip, it would take 1.167 to start the reload, 1.5 to load the 5 rounds, and then 0.4 to be able to use it again. And the two numbers on the right hand side, the 0.7 and the 0.5, are how long it takes to load single bullets. It takes 0.7 to load the first single bullet and 0.5 to load every subsequent bullet. Okay, so if you're loading 2 bullets in, it would take 1.167 seconds to start, 0.7 for the first bullet, and then 0.5 for the next bullet, and then 0.4 to be able to go again. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Moving on to the recoil values, the orange number there with the first means that it has a 1 times first shot multiplier, so you're not being penalized for semi-auto fire, which is good because it's a semi-auto rifle. Okay, the 6 indicates how quickly the recoil decreases, so how long it takes for the muzzle to drift back down. This is a very vague number and we're not really actually sure what the units mean, but it tends to drift down pretty quickly, so it's pretty easy to deal with. It has 0.7 vertical recoil and 0.32 side to side recoil, which is actually not that bad. It's not the best. It's not as good as the Mondragon Storm, which is 0.6, or the auto-loading 8, which is 0.51, but it's pretty much the 4th best in class at 0.7. Okay, so the side-to-side recoil of 0.32 is actually 2nd worst in class next to the M1907 SL Factory and the other 2 variants of that gun. Okay, so it's pretty bad. It's not drastically worse. Here we go. So it's the same as the Mondragon, and it's slightly worse than the Slater M1916. I have no idea how to pronounce that. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. Okay, moving on. It has an aim down sight accuracy of 0.21. So that means that when you stand still and you fire 1 shot, it will shoot within 0.21 of a degree of the point you're aiming at. So obviously that goes out in a cone from where you're firing, so the further away the target is, the further off the bullet can potentially go. Okay, and 0.79 for when you're moving and aiming down sights, which means that when they're at a distance and you're moving, you are not going to hit very accurately. So you need to try and stand still whenever you're firing this weapon. I know it's not easy. We tend to try to run and gun a lot, but if you can, just try to stop and pop off a couple of shots, juke or sidestep, and then pop off a couple more shots, and you should be fine. The standard version of this, the factory version, has really bad hipfire at 2 and 2.5 when moving. Okay, so that's 2 whole degrees off, so you're pretty much not going to hit much while you're hip firing. Okay, so the numbers on the right hand side of that, the 0.25 and the 7.5, are your first shot, are your spread increase per shot, and the green number is your spread decrease after you stop firing. So it does not take very long at all. It's probably going to take you a split second for the spread decrease to counteract the spread increase. I actually really like it. There's a lot of people that think that it's quite a mediocre gun. It does have some quite average stats, but it does the job, as you can see. It has the same amount of rounds as a Mondragon sniper. The only difference being is that the Mondragon has 35 minimum damage, so it's always a 3-shot, no matter what, because it does 40 maximum. But apart from that, at 32 meters is not actually too bad of a distance. That's within medium range, so it's quite fine. And then again, 4 rounds is still good. If your aim is quite good, you're still going to get 2 kills out of that, even potentially 3 with a headshot. Okay, so it's actually a really decent weapon. I tend to like it actually more than the Mondragon. I'm not sure why. It has a slower reload. It has less accuracy. It's just the recoil. The side-to-side recoil is exactly the same, but it has less vertical recoil. So I find that it's just easier to maintain headshots. Even though the majority of the time, knowing that it's a 3-shot kill, I just go for body shots, which is what you actually should do. If you know you're going to get headshots, go for them, but you should really just go for body shots. It's a 3-shot kill. You can actually take 3 people out in close quarters with it, in a relatively quick time. Okay, so it's actually a really decent weapon in close quarters. You're just going to get beat quite a lot by SMGs, okay? Especially your Automatico, that is just going to end your life. Alright, so that was a quick little look at the Cei Rigotti, which I probably butchered, but nowhere near as much as I butchered Selbstlader. What a name, Selbstlader. We'll get onto that in another video. I might do a bit of research and try to learn how to say that properly. Okay, but I hope you found this helpful. I just wanted to go through the gun a little bit, mainly just to go over the reload speeds, because it's a bit confusing. At least with that information there, you can sort of work out for yourself what's more beneficial, because if you have only shot 3 rounds or 4 rounds out of the gun, you're actually better off to just fire that other round off and get down to 5 and reload from there. But as I said, I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please leave me a like down below. Leave me a comment if you have any questions whatsoever. Please consider subscribing for more Battlefield content. Thank you so much for watching. I love your face, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.